What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another adventure with the Bearded Barber and this guy right here, Fast AF boy. So we are talking about the FTR again. I've been able to daily it, get some miles on it, some just normal. I've had to backpack with this thing, and I really don't mind backpacking with this bike. I really didn't care for it on the bobber, but on the FTR, it doesn't really bother me. I'm guessing that ride position definitely helps. So, I mean, I've taken, so these right here I've loaded up in my backpack because I needed to take them to work with me, and it wasn't a big deal. So, but I want to give a brutal, honest review of this bike. I need to talk about what I would do to this bike. I've talked to the community and how, like, I would fix these things, but first we're gonna see if it starts. It does not like cold weather with this battery. So here we go. It's thinking it's low on gas, but it's not. Ooh, there we go. 2 tries, not bad. We'll get some gas in it, but let's go take this out on some curves up into some. We're not gonna go to Big Bear, but we're going to go to Oak Glen, one of my favorite spots. Still curvy and fun, so let's go do that.
Alright guys, so what I want to talk about with this motorcycle is the issues that I did have, and I actually talked to a few people who own FTRs that have had to deal with this problem themselves, and it's something that has actually been around for a little while. So the batteries, from what I'm told, and I don't know if there's a reason they keep using this battery, but the battery needs, I think, more cranking amps or something like that. So if I own this bike, I would switch that out and I would tune it. Now, there's a reason they don't have it tuned to what I would tune it to, and that's emissions. And I've talked to people that I can't mention, and I've talked to people who have been in the FTR space for a long time, like FTR owners, Mike, Riding Fish. These guys have been dealing with this bike, and in colder weather than what I ride it in, because I was like, look guys, it's 50 degrees today, and this bike took 7 times to try to start. And it's like, well, you got to keep it on a tender when you have the stock battery to really help it. Especially, I only work like 8 miles from home, so I don't really get enough time to like put life into this battery. So that's one of the issues. Now, there has been issues across the board with batteries, and Indian, like my Challenger had got a bad battery. The second battery I ruined, and then my Scout had the battery for 5 years. I'm in the wrong lane, I'm sorry. I want to go this way, my bad guy. Now,
That being said, I'm like, why is this thing not starting? And they're like, honestly, it needs a higher crank amperage. And then, like, so I'm like, well, I could tell it needed tuned just the way it was like trying to breathe. And the bike has got a lot of power, but what it is during emissions, there's 2 different tests they do,
and apparently they can detune this bike and not have any of the issues it's having. But once they do that, you don't get to have that power that we have right here in the palm of your hand. It's just like, well, then you got to go tune it no matter what to unlock it. So it's either have some power, maybe have it where it seems like it has, like, it's not giving me any problems, but you can just tell there's a little like something there. And usually that, to me, that's just like, all right, the bike needs unlocked. And I was like, I would do that for this bike. I was like, this is my bike, I'm doing that immediately. Now, the good thing is coming in at 5'7", you can see right here, I'm flat foot. I'm pigging, what is it, a penguin? Penguin. I'm wooden foot in that. But I can like half foot both sides. So the new stance of this bike is amazing. I knew that, I've ridden it, but I haven't gotten to daily it. So it's like, I'm not somebody who rides sport bikes and things of that nature. So for me, it's something new. And I'm like, well, man, what if I get stuck in like just stop and go traffic, and I like come up to the lights? I'm getting nervous about dropping this motorcycle. Now, I don't know if I've told this story on here before, but one of the original FTRs, I dropped it. And it was, okay, see how the road right there slopes over? There's a spot here in Redlands that does that really, really hard. And when I was standing there, like tiptoeing the bike, I was like, oh, I at the time would like double check that I was in gear. And I'm like, well, you know, just going to shift back down. So I put my right foot down. When I put my right foot down, my right foot went, where's the ground? And the ground was gone. So we went toppling over. And I think there was video of that, but I deleted that. I deleted that a long time ago. So when they changed the suspension and like height of the bike, I was very, very happy. The bike still rides amazingly smooth. It's super flickable, you know, like I love this thing. I wish this was my bike, because I would start just going in on the tune and the battery and the exhaust. That's the other thing with the newer models. The exhaust is welded into the headers, that like the muffler there, so it's not like you can just get a cat delete. I don't know why. Like I don't know what the issue was with that, or why they had to do that. It's a four-way stop. Let's go. Ah. Do 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 do. I didn't turn too soon. Where's the? Trying to get over to San Mateo Canyon, and then I'll go over to like Oak Glen and ride through there. Maybe Wildwood even. I don't know. It's gonna be a ride. I gotta go take the Challenger out today too. So, but this bike just begs to be ridden in the curves and everything else. And for daily, that's what like I said, that's what I really took it out for. It was like, could someone vertically challenged as myself take this out? And the answer, Short Kings, is yes. The biggest thing is just learning how to ride a bike like this. Now, at Douglas Motorsports in San Bernardino, before they unfortunately closed down after COVID, the owner, well, not the he was the owner. He was owner, Art, right? Oh man, my memory's shot some days. I'm sorry, guys. So he was telling me he rides the big Tigers, and I'm like, what? He's like, dude, you gotta ride one. And I was like, all right, like if you say so, man, it's your bike. And he's like, I can ride it, you can ride it. And he was like, I don't want to say a number, but he was shorter than me, because I could be wrong on the number. And I was like, I like Art, he's a good guy. Now, that being said, I said, all right, but they shut down and I never got a chance to ride it. So I mean, Triumph, if you're listening, I would like to take one of those out. That'd be fun. See if I can do it. The challenge of anything vertical. But this bike just eats these curves up. The brakes, I mean, are fantastic on this motorcycle. I have, like I said, I have nothing to complain about. It's easy to get around, like through lane splitting, especially the shorter, narrow bars. I would just love an exhaust on here. I don't know if I'd change anything else. Like for my riding position, this is new to me, so I do get some pressure on my palms and my forearms. But you know, after riding for like an hour and a half of constant like traffic, that's normal for like this position for me anyway. But like when you're out and you can kind of sit up a little bit, you know, cruise control, all that fun stuff really helps you like navigate those like issues. Like, all right, let my hand drop down for a little bit and it not bother me. Doop, 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 doop. There we go. This road right here is actually where I first was like, when I first got my permit and everything, I would take this road from home to work every day before I got on the freeway. I could get onto here from my house in Beaumont and go all the way to San Bernardino, taking just the side road. I was like, so it's a small curvy road that really, I think, helps you handle the bike, in my opinion. So if you guys are local to Redlands and just starting out or anything, like this is a good little curvy road. And then like the next step up, I think, is Oak Glen, before going to something like Big Bear. Big Bear gets a little bit more technical. And believe me, there's way more technical roads out there, all over here and other places. This is just like little spots that I personally did, and I think they were really good. So of course I had to come bring it out here. Look at all these donkeys. The only thing I would say, watch out for those guys, because they will just walk across the street whenever they want. That's the first time I've seen them out, but there's signs everywhere. Like, they unfortunately, like, I don't know how it happens, or they just free roam them out here, but yeah, that's something you don't want to hit, even on, like, especially on a motorcycle. Now I have the one question I got on my Patreon from Outback Outlaw. He was talking about if he's too big for the bike, where I'm thinking, am I too small for the bike? Now I'm a bigger guy, but I'm, like I said, I'm vertically challenged. So that being said, you know, he's taller and he doesn't know if he'd fit. I'm like, if anything, you would easily fit. Like, and the bike has so much power that, like, even being like at my weight, like, it's not an issue. I've had people go like, hey man, I'm like 300 plus pounds, I'm about your height, like, is this gonna be an issue? And I was like, no, like, not at all. These bikes are ridiculous for it. Wow, holy crap. Look at that garage. I want that garage. I know, squirrel, but this is not the place to be squirrel right here. Oof, God, I love this bike. I think my biggest problem if I had this bike is I would want to take it to the track. You know, my other bikes are not track. Like, they're not like in any way, shape, or form calling me to go to the track. This one is like a, you know, angel devil on my shoulder. He's like, hey, go to the track. And the angel's like, yeah, go to the track. But wear gear, you know? Like, that's the only difference. The devil's like, I don't care what you do, just go to the track and just let that horsepower rip, let that front wheel come up, you know, come on. Ooh, I don't know, man, like, this bike is just it's amazing. All this horsepower, no room to gallop right now. I am obeying traffic laws. And you could really tell this, like, you could hear this, like, airbox, just like, whoa, like when you start getting on it. It's the same thing with my intake on my Scout. But I'm like, man, if I upgraded this, did the exhaust, did the tune, I was like, what is that like? And I have one dude out there, he said I could ride his, and I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm tempted. Like, I already said yeah. Like, we get the chance, man, I want to take that out and see what this thing unleashes. Ooh, buddy. And I think there's a lot of cool things you can do with this, because you're not in like this vintage style. So there's just so much, like, any motorcycles is doing already with these bikes. The new 100% collab is gorgeous. Like, that is such a beautiful bike, you know. And like, at that point, there's not much like you would customize. I mean, I would change a couple things, but like, you don't have to, you know what I mean? Even like this, you don't have to do much besides the normal stuff you would do anyway. Exhaust, tune, and not even always a tune, you know, like just maybe an upgraded tune if they have it for the stage. I haven't looked at what Indian provides for this. I think there's another exhaust, but you still have the cat on. There's a lot of stuff that you still have to jump through hoops for with emissions, and that's part of the problem. That's what's holding it back. Like, it's corporate has to obey laws, and if you buy this bike, you should obey laws. And in some states, you don't have the same laws, so have at it. Sometimes it's really hard to say stuff of like, you know, do whatever you want. Like, honestly, that's what I mean, do whatever you want. But, you know, I'm not telling you what to do. Like, I have to do that disclaimer. And it's really hard for me, because I know I would do whatever I want. I'm not being swayed by anybody, so I'm doing me. So I actually won, did I talk about it on the channel yet? I got best sound for my exhaust at Indian Motorcycle OC's Hispanic Heritage event, and they're like, how do you go to Newport and stuff like that? And I'm like, I don't. I'll take a stock bike. I would have took this bike down there. I missed the Rolling Sands event. I would have took this down there. It was like the one time I was like, ooh, stock bike exhaust. I'll take that for the win. Closest one I have to stock is my wife's 2020 Chief. Come on, dude. We're following traffic laws here. Yay, let's go. Oh, yeah. I miss this road. So I actually used to take this road in the middle of the night to work when I worked graveyard at Amazon. Oh, yeah. So in the middle of the night, you just do, you know, because Redlands is on that side, Moreno Valley's on that side, and I worked at the Moreno Valley one. I had something just jump up and hit my helmet. I don't know what that was. What is that? Oh, the guy just parking his white car there. That's not fair, man. From a distance, it's just a white car. All right. I just went to Hawaii, and like anybody who lives in Hawaii, you guys got to come over. Like if you've never been over here, you got to come over here just so you can see what speed feels like. I saw like Scatback Chargers and sports cars, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, the highest speed limit I saw was 60. Like over here I've seen 80, 85, 80, I think 80. Speed limit wise. So overall, guys, the FTR is a beautiful, fantastic bike and great for dailying, even if you're shorter. I was like, it may be something you want to get into like gradually, but like, man, especially if I lived in LA, it'd be like this in the Scout. I take my bagger everywhere. I'll say that as well for us bagger guys. But like, when you're lane splitting, God, this is so much easier than the bagger. I think I'd like some bar and mirrors on here too. That'd probably be dope.
Alright guys, we're just doing a walk around of the FTR. Don't fall. So big thing is like the kickstand keeps the bike kind of high, so getting off the bike being short is kind of, you know, fun. But I think there's a lot of different things when it comes to this bike and vertically challenged and stuff like that. It's still, I think it's a really good size now. Before it was a little too tall for me. The Rally's still taller, but the Rally, you're meant to take it off-road more. You're meant to take it out into this stuff a little bit more. Like, it's not an adventure bike yet. So, I personally would love to see the FTR Rally become an adventure bike. And I love where these are going. I love the new ones, the new color combos, everything like that. It's been beautiful. I know people want a 750, like a smaller one, which I think would do good in other countries. I don't know how well it would do here. You know, because you have the Scouts and the Scout 60s. So overall, you know, that's still, Indian Motorcycle doesn't have a 750 in the lineup. They have a 999 cc. So there might be something there for that. But personally, this bike is smooth. When it's low power, it really loves high power. She really moves. She loves taking up all this tire. So, like, you know, for me, I don't get a chance to go all the way, and that's still quite a bit. It's just a fun bike. Cosmetically, you know, there's things I would personally like. I like the cowl more. I know some people don't. I would change the turn signals, mirrors, exhaust, tune it, and change this ugly ass license plate. Loud old Jeep. This license plate frame, I know that it's another one of those things that, like, there's certain things they have to obey by, marker lights and all that kind of fun stuff, but that thing's got to go. And it's the one thing when everyone sees this bike, everyone knows I have Indian motorcycles, you know, and I have custom ones and different things. So when they see my bikes, they're always like, wow, those are nice bikes. But when they see this one, all my regular friends and coworkers and stuff like that, they go, wow. Because that's a little bit more of their field. They like this more than they like the cruisers. And this really speaks to them. But the first thing they say is that it's ugly. And I have to agree with them. I think that you get that tuck up in here, something like that, you're in a lot better space. But personally, I get why they have to do that. And then you get to make the bike your own. There's different ways to do it. Guys, this is the FTR1200. I'm going to keep riding it as long as they let me. And if other things come up that I can talk about, or if you have questions, leave them in the comments. Let me know. Like I said, I'm 5'7", roughly 300 pounds. And this bike has no problem hauling me around. Thankfully, I've gotten to where it has no problems. There was, if you guys see in this video, there's a little bit of oil on the thing. With the first day I got the bike, it had just gotten an oil change, and that was loose. So it's not leaking oil, but the cap was trying to come out. And ever since I tightened it, it was fine. It just happened to not be super tight that day. You know, things happen. People get busy, especially with these. Because dude has to break them in, and, like, he's got a lot of them to work on. So just a little snug, and, you know, things happen. But, all right, guys, like I said, if you have any questions, hit me down in the comments. Stay safe, stay classy, and I'll catch you later.